What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts. Oh, just do that. Today I'm bringing you a new profile. This time we're looking at Rikka. This is pure Rikka control. I think this is probably the best variant of Rikka. I tried testing out a build that's just kind of like an amalgamation of like Sanavalon, Rikka, Aromage, I guess, but Aroma. And it kind of is a little clunky. They don't work as well together as I hoped they would. I still think there might be something there though. So maybe down the line, I'll come back to you with another plant amalgamation deck. But for today, we're looking at Rikkas. I never gave them a fair chance when they first came out. I actually think they're a really decent rogue strategy. It's a really cool control deck. You guys know I love control decks. This is a plant deck. So shout out to my boy, Gavin. I love you, son. I love you. But yeah. Really cool deck. Can't wait to get into it. So without further ado, let's do that. Starting off with the monsters, we'll just go into the Rikka lineup here. Triple copies of Rikka Petal, 1 copy of Primula, double copies of Mudon, and double copies of Snowdrop. I can actually scoop those a little bit here. Okay, so pretty much how this package goes as follows. Okay, Petal is the best card in the deck. It's actually Alistair, but in my opinion, better for this archetype. I would say in the context of this archetype, I think it's just like in a vacuum kind of better. It's Stratos, just once per turn, add any Rikka card from deck to hand, or monster from deck to hand. Then its best part, the part I love about this and this deck is the level of recursion, right? This card says on your opponent's end phase, every single end phase, you can just reborn this card. As long as you control either all plants or no monsters, reborn it for free. That is so good. It's every single end phase. It doesn't even banish itself when it leaves the field next. This card is crazy. Next up, you have Primula. She's just an extender. You need her as a level 4 to facilitate the rank 4 in the deck. We'll get there when we get there, but yeah, you just want it as a 1 of. Mudon, very good extender. Same thing with Snowdrop. Mudon tributes a plant to summon itself and then searches you with a Rikka spell or trap on summon. Only when it's summoned by a plant monster's effect, though, which includes itself. So cool, it's a searcher, extends itself into a search, it's really good. And then Snowdrop. This card tributes a plant from your field to summon itself and another plant from hand, makes drawing hands that look really awkward, not at all. And then she can target a plant on the field and then change all other plants on the field to that same level, which is really good. So it facilitates like different rank plays at the same time. So this is your lineup. The other ones just kind of suck balls, so don't play those, but these are phenomenal. Okay, for some other random plant shenanigans, we have triple copies of Lone Fire Blossom. This is 3 more copies of Petal, best card in your deck, at least best starter in your deck, and yeah, best card in the deck. One World Carrot Weight Champion, and 1 Mardell Generator Boss of Light. So what's going on here, John? Let's take a look. Lone Fire's insane. Usually it's getting you Petal turn 1, and then after turn 1, once you have Petal like rotating in grave every turn, you can just get like anything you want. It goes straight into Mudon to get a search, straight into Mardell to get a search, anything. Really, really good. World Carrot Weight. He is specifically played because you need another level 4 to play with Primula. It can be any plant, but you just need a different named level 4 plant to do a combo with Primula to get into the rank 4, because the rank 4 is just so insanely good, in my opinion. And then you have Mardell. When she's summoned, she can search any plant monster from deck to hand or a generator card, which you'll see. I'll show you a cool little combo, by the way, at the end. For the only bricks we play in the deck, Har and Driver, they suck to draw. They both suck to draw. I don't know what to tell you. If you draw them, I'm sorry. I wish I played cards that discarded. I don't really have them, but maybe I'd side Droplet or something if I had it. Sorry, but they add power to the deck, so you want them. For the hand traps, triple Gamma, obviously saw the Driver, triple Ash, and double Ghost Bell. I like Ghost Bell over Meister and Crow right now just because it negates stuff like Revolt, negates stuff like Meltdown, or not Meltdown, Invocation, negates stuff like Nadir Servant. There are just like crazy cards that this card negates, which is very important. And yeah, just these are some of the best hand traps right now. Drawing 2 of these will stop most of the decks in the format. Then for the spells, we have Rikka Glamour. This is the search spell. This is literally Rhoda for the archetype. What's really cool with all the spells and traps, they have like a unique thing to them where They do one thing that's already decent. This just searches a Rikka card. But you can do an alternative, like doubly strong thing if you tribute a plant. So you can choose on activation to tribute a plant. If you do, you then not only search a Rikka, but you can also search any other plant from the deck with the same level as the Rikka monster you're adding, which is really cool. That's why you need to play level 4, like Carrot Weight, so you can search Primula and Carrot Weight. Really good. I didn't even say what Primula does. She summons herself from hand when any plant is tributed. So when you tribute a plant to search her, she then can immediately summon herself from hand. So that's why you play it. And then you normal summon Carrot Weight, make the rank 4. Really good card. 1 for 1. Oh, by the way, this is our 7th, 8th, and 9th copy of Petal. This is our 10th copy of Petal. So 10 copies of Petal overall on the deck. That's mainly just it. Lets you play through Disruption, potentially. Cool. 1 generator boss stage. Some people might call this a brick. I do not, because if you just hard draw it, you just activate it and get Har on your opponent's standby. Or on your opponent's draw phase, which is really good. It's a hand rip and a negate. I'll take that all day. Then for the last spells, we play 3, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Called by the Grave, and 1 Super Polymerization. Sorry about the glare over here, by the way. I have my light over here, but I don't know where else to move it. Anyway, Feather Duster, just a haymaker card. This deck doesn't really have much back row removal built into it, so I wanted just a hard one of like card I can draw that's okay, and out to Mystic Mine, so we don't just auto lose to that. It's an out to like back row, can just let us like steal like back row matchups pretty much. Just a powerful card. 1 Called by the Grave. Just, you know, this deck doesn't even hate hand traps that much, but you know, it's called. We're in a this is like a mid-range control type deck, so it's just always going to have some kind of application every time you see it. And then Super Poly, just playing this in the main allows us to out certain things like Dragoon, and because otherwise the deck just can't out stuff like Dragoon. Have all your stuff targets. So we'll get to that in a minute. It's not just a one of you want to draw. It's actually like more better than that. One thing I do want to make note of that I didn't make note of earlier, Snowdrop as well as Petal lock you into plants for the rest of the turn. So keep that in mind, that like you are locked in, so you can't just go into anything. We can't play any generic card that we want to, but still. And that's why Super Poly is really good. I'll show that off in a sec. For the traps, the Rikka traps, I'm on 2 copies of Sheet, 1 copy of Tranquility. A lot of people, a lot of lists that I've seen don't really like Tranquility that much, but I actually like it as a one of. Sheet's pretty cool. It's your disruption. It's kind of like Widow Anchor. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and then they can't activate that monster's effects for the rest of the turn. Or you can tribute a plant, and then not only negate that monster's effects, or that monster's effects can't be activated technically, but you also steal it and make it a plant until the end of the turn. So it's almost like Widow Anchor, but in trap form. And then you have Tranquility. This card reborns a Rikka from grave, so Call the Haunted in archetype, but also you contribute a plant, and if you do, reborn a Rikka and another plant from grave. So really good there. The cool thing there is that if you hard draw Sheet, then you can search Tranquility with your combo. And so when you set these, you go Sheet, tribute a plant to steal their monster and make it a plant. Then you go Tranquility to tribute their monster to then reborn 2. So you end up with 2 monsters on the field. You'll get Rikka Petal back on end phase. So you have so much follow-up there, and they don't even get their monster back on end phase, which I kind of like. So as a one of, it's cool for when you do hard draw Sheet. I've even considered playing Sheet at 3 at points, but I'm keeping it 2 for right now. And the last traps in the deck, 3 permanence, 3 strike. Permanence is great, doesn't trigger tactical talents, great versus Tri-Brigade. It's pretty good versus a lot of things, actually. So I like that. That's, I think, 11? No. Yeah, 11 hand traps in the main with the strikes. Strike may not be the best thing. I think strike's better when it's paired with stuff like Torrential Tribute, so you have like those crazy interactions where you can just break an entire fully made board by going like Torrential, then Solemn. But I still think it's a pretty good trap, all things considered. You could swap it out for another hand trap if you wanted, though. Okay, so that is it for the main. 40 cards there. The one thing I do want to say is Pot of Prosperity. I know this is a sad point because I feel like I talk about this in every other deck I do. I would play Prosperity in this list. If you don't have Prosperity, like me, don't worry about it. Just play this list. If you do have access to Prosperity, though, I'm telling you this right now. Drop this to the side. Probably just play it in the side. Drop this to probably entirely, because this deck isn't even really that hateful for traps anyway. And then you can drop either like Tranquility or a third Solemn Strike. Like if you drop just 3 of these, play Prosperity. It's such a crazy consistency card. Also post side, obviously that's a really nice help to a deck like this that wants to see really crazy Haymaker side deck cards, and so Prosperity helps you find those. But yeah, like these are all fine and they're fine replacements, but I do think you have 10 copies of Petal, and if you don't draw Petal, it's usually gonna hurt. Like it's usually just like not a great hand. So keep that in mind. If you can get Prosperity, obviously do it. It's like $105 right now, so I don't blame you. I don't have it either. Just want to throw that out there. Getting into the extra deck, okay? Starting off with the Rikka Exceeds. This is I think the only card I don't have in the extra deck. Double Teardrop. This is like the main boss monster of the deck. Double Rikka Strena and 1 Kanzashi. I don't have Teardrop because it's like 15 to 20 bucks right now. And hopefully it'll get a reprint fairly soon. It's actually been around fairly long, and I'm kind of just waiting it out for a reprint. But play at least 2. I've seen people play 3, but I think 3 is a little overkill. Essentially what it does is quick effect, target a monster on the field, and tribute it. That's it. It's disruption. Cool. Strena, though, is insane. This is one of the newer cards. I say newer, but it's still like Rise of the Duelist. But it detaches a material to add any Rikka card from grave back to hand. So that could be a trap like Sheet. That could be a follow-up like Mudon or Snowdrop on top of you, like probably already getting Petal back from grave. But my favorite part about it is that if herself is tributed while she has material, she'll summon any rank 5 or higher plant Exceed from deck and attach herself as material. So you can just summon a Teardrop out and give it to her. So this, just summoning this card means you're going to get a card to hand, which is either an extender or follow-up in some way. Then it's going to be a 1-card disruption once you tribute it with something else. Now you do need another extender to trigger it, but still, usually something you add back can actually get you to that anyway. You can immediately tribute it. So very, very good card. I wish the deck just facilitated it more. If the deck had any support down the line, I'd want it to be cards that help the deck make rank 4s easier, because she feels like the most impactful extra deck card, because she gets you to like this plus another card, or Hyperiton plus another card. It's crazy. And then Kanzashi plus Teardrop with a material just means you have an OTK. That's mainly it. You really don't make this card outside of setting up that OTK. Okay. 1 Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton. You're usually summoning this off of a Strena, but also you can potentially summon Mardell from hand with Snowdrop and then change both their levels to level 9 and just hard make it, which is also decent as well. Kularia. This card's really not that important, but it's a cool tech card. If you're in a back row matchup, like I said, the deck doesn't deal with back row that well. But if it's a really hard back row matchup, like they play a ton of traps, this card's actually pretty good. It just takes any 2 insects or plants. You're not really using its effects outside of the fact that when it's link summoned, it's unaffected by all trap effects. So it's just an 1800 body that's unaffected by all traps. Could actually come up in like specific matchups. Stuff like Altergeist can struggle with a big body that can't be affected by traps. As long as you keep them off of the Silquicious, you're actually looking pretty good there. Next up, Verte Anaconda, Chimera Phlasia, and Trifio Veritum. This is like the one non-budget thing outside of like Teardrop in the deck, right, is the Anaconda. But here's the thing. This card allows you to out stuff like Dragoon. You can just send Super Poly and either make Chimera Phlasia if all they have is Dragoon. If they have any other monster on the field, you can like make it dark with Anaconda and actually make Trifio Veritum, which will then be a disruption and a 3k body. So really cool, just small package, allows you to out things that you otherwise wouldn't, and it's really cool. And they're also all plants, so you don't even get locked out of them via the archetype's lock effects. 3 more cards, just because we're playing the Super Poly in the main, but also because we're playing in the main, I'd probably just side the other 2 copies for when you do have matchups. So they're just more generic cards. This is in like Sally's as well as stuff like Code Talkers or adding Misters. So instead of playing like Violet Chimera, I feel like that's just more generic. Mud Dragon, Swamp Pits, random stuff, and then Starving Venom. Again, just super, super generic. And then finishing up the extra deck, we have 2 rank 8s. These are essentially only for Gamma, pretty much, when you're able to Gamma on your own turn. Your archetype is water, so actually a Dragite's actually really cool. You're going to set up its spell and trap negate. So I guess if you know the matchup, you could theoretically go for this instead of Omega. Obviously, Omega's still really good though, just helping you control the board, control your opponent's hand, keep their resources nice and held at bay. But yeah, that's really cool. One other card I would consider for the extra is Alsay. It's like the Sylvan, the High Sylvan Protector or something. He looks like the giant like flower goat, plant goat. He's cool. He pretty much just like targets a card on the field and puts it back on either the top or the bottom of the deck. It's extra removal. It's actually spell and trap removal, which I believe is the only spell and trap removal in the extra. I guess you could technically count Dragot, but like, yeah. Other than like Harpy's Feather Duster. So it's another main deck way to out a back row if you need to, or play into a back row, which is cool. And it stacks the deck, so it does set them up for a bad draw in the following draw phase, which is cool. But real quick, I might as well show you a cool little hand real quick. So let's just start off with a simple combo of Petal. Very simple. If you just open Petal, you go Petal. Petal effect to search Mudon. Mudon effect to tribute Petal. Then Mudon effect to search. You will just simply grab your sheet, and then you have sheet. There you go. 1 card disruption. This, you can tribute the Mudon if you want to steal their monster instead of just negating it, but also you have to consider that Petal is coming back on your opponent's end phase. So you are guaranteed here, just 1 card gets you a 1 card disruption plus a follow-up. So it's technically just a +1 there in overall advantage. Technically it's a +2, but whatever. And then if you have a 2 card combo, I didn't even mention this, but opening these as a 2 card combo, also opening it with Mardell as a 2 card combo, but I'll show you the Lone Fire version just because it's a 3F, so you're going to see this more commonly. So we're going to start with Petal. Normal summon Petal. Petal effect, we're actually going to grab, what do I want here? I actually want Snowdrop. Then we use Snowdrop's effect, tributing Petal to summon itself and Lone Fire. So this way you actually have a couple different things you can do. You can Lone Fire for Mudon if you want to get sheet, or you can do this, and I'll show you this play because this is a little more nifty. Lone Fire effect, summon Mardell, then Mardell effect, add yourself Boss Stage. I just think this is more impactful. I think Boss Stage is just has more value than just a sheet, right? So then you go activate Boss Stage, and then from here, you can also use a Snowdrop's effect. So you can either target Mardell or herself, so we can either make Teardrop or just go straight up into Hyperiton. I'll probably make Teardrop because I think we're already going to end on an Omni Negate, so we don't need to worry about having like double negates. I guess it's nice, but I don't think it's fully necessary. And then you just overlay these for Teardrop, and then you go on standby. Boss Stage is going to summon out your big boy Har. He's going to be an Omni Negate and technically a hand rip. Not the most powerful hand rip, but it will be a -1 for your opponent. And yeah. Also, one thing else I do want to recommend is keep in mind Har tributes for cost. A lot of times I end up tributing himself just for that 1 negate, just so that I don't have a non-plant on board for end phase, so that Petal can come back. That's it. So I can get the follow-up, pretty much. He's still a 3K body, but because you're almost always going through Mardell to get him out, you won't have another target in deck for Boss Stage, which means you won't be able to get more tokens on board, so you will not be able to have his negate live again. You just won't have tribute fodder up. So just keep that in mind. I do like to tribute him. And then one more thing I might as well show you. So that's 1 card is 1 disruption and a follow-up. 2 cards is 2 disruptions and a hand rip and a follow-up. Let's show you the 3 card combo. This could be a myriad of different things. Let's just say it's something like this. So this would be either like Petal plus Mardell, Petal, this could be any of your 10 copies of Mardell or Petal. This could be any 4 copies of, I guess, Lone Fire or Mardell. And this could be Snowdrop, Mudon, or Rikka Glamour. So it's like a 3 card combo, but it's not like 3 3-ofs. It's like a 10 of, a 4 of, and like a 9 of, essentially. Or sorry, a 7 of, something like that. So let's do it this way. Petal, add Mudon. Why am I looking through my extra deck? I'm a fool. Then we go Snowdrop, tribute to summon Lone Fire. Then we go Lone Fire effect for Mardell. Still looking at my extra deck like a dumb. Where are you at, Mardell? She's hiding. She hiding. I should put it at the bottom. I'm a dummy. Effect will add us the Boss Stage. Then we can go Mudon, tributing Mardell to summon herself. Then use her effect to get sheet. Then from here, we just use Snowdrop to change their levels to 8. Overlay for the Teardrop. Activate Boss Stage, set sheet, and there we go. We've got a quick tribute here. This is going to summon out Har. And then we also have the sheet. Assuming we tribute the Har to negate something, we will get Petal back on end phase. So 3 cards is 3 disruptions and a follow-up. 2 cards is 2 disruptions and a follow-up. 1 card is 1 disruption and a follow-up. So I just love the recursability of this deck. Petal's coming back every turn if you're playing the deck right. You don't have to play the generator package, by the way. I just think it adds a nice little power boost to a control deck that otherwise has a pretty low ceiling overall. And I really appreciate that nice little power boost, even though it does come at the price of 1 additional brick to the driver. But other than that, no other bricks. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All things considered, the deck's pretty cool. I still think it's like tier 3 or rogue, whatever you want to call it. I think it can actually potentially top a regional on a really good day. And I just hope there's more support. So that's going to do it for me there, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, you know, you'll take another look at Rikka, because they were kind of the ugly stepchild of the Secret Slayers deck build pack, just because Adamancipator and Eldritch were so good immediately. But I do think going back on it, this deck should have gotten a little more face time in the limelight. So let me know in the comment section down below what you would change about the list. I'm just one man building the deck the way I think it should, and I definitely open to suggestions. Other than that, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more deck profiles down the line. And I love you. Goodbye. Get out of here.